Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Global Speedrun Association and to our World Peace Tournament. Second round we're in currently, and today we are going to be having not only Tischel versus Odyssey, which is going to be our first race of the day, but also Timpani versus Kalia, and we are going to be having the results stream of task number 3 live today on the channel. So make sure to get cozy, get a drink, and we are going to be commentating today together with Nerf, and he is a returning challenger. He used to be a very common commentator in pretty much any format of Super Mario Odyssey speed running. And what's up, Nerf? Welcome
Hey,
back.
what's going on, guys? Pleasure. It's a big pleasure, man. It sounds like a pretty busy day for some Odyssey. You're up on the next commentating the next one as well, yeah, Lim?
I will. Today we are going to be starting off with Tischel versus Oddme, which is definitely going to be a pretty exciting match. I think Oddme actually almost tied the world record earlier, so he got a very crazy run. We're going to be talking to him about it in just a minute here, because we do have the runners joining us for a pre-race commentary. But I personally actually want to be starting with Tischel here, who ended up obviously confidently beating me in the first round. But yeah, Tischel, how do you feel about World Peace now? Have you been even playing after this match, and how do you feel about this matchup as well?
I feel alright. I mean, I haven't been playing World Peace really. I got my PB, which is 118.18. I feel pretty happy with that, so I didn't really continue. I started grinding any percent once again, going for the 102. That being said, I just did a no reset. It was fine. Like I had mistakes, so it's nothing that I'm too worried about. It's just the clips, right? The clips can really screw you up in a race, so that's the only thing that I'm kind of worried about. But yeah, and the matchup, I don't know. Ormi has been grinding World Peace a lot. I mean, you already said it. He almost tied world record, so it's gonna be. I'm definitely underdog here. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah, Oddme definitely having a lot of potential, but I do know, Tischel, that you have been obviously also looking into the category a little bit more, and you did have some potential 118 paces as well, which would obviously be an amazing time for a race format. I feel like with the 118 in a race, you can pretty much beat anyone these days, even still.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be a 1.0 race as far as I am aware of, so we are going to be seeing all of the not advanced tricks, but we are going to be seeing all of the possible time saves at least.
Correct.
All right.
That's exciting.
And Oddme, let me get to you. I want to quickly talk about the run you had earlier, because apparently only 1 second off world record, which is obviously impressive. But other than that, how has practice in general been going, and how do you feel about the matchup as well?
Well, I will say I kind of got lucky with that run earlier because I've been grinding for 117 for I don't even know how long at this point, and I've had so many runs that I just choked in Luncheon and Bowser's, but finally got that one good run, and if I got like an amazing moon, I probably would have skipped 117 that run, which is pretty crazy.
Definitely.
That's all it takes. Only one good run. That's all it takes, man.
Yeah,
it is true.
For the race, I said in the call before we went on stream, it doesn't matter if I splice, I'm gonna beat you anyway. But I do think it'll be pretty close because I'm not very consistent in this category. I'd say I'm more consistent in any percent because it's shorter, but this category not so much. But we're both people who are known for choking late game, that's for sure. But
okay, so I guess
it'll be a good one.
Watch out for those chokes. Is that what you guys are saying?
Yep.
Right, I'll make sure to point those out.
Yeah, we'll definitely flame you guys, as we at least definitely know we are not going to be having
especially odd me. I'm gonna make sure
any calls for the good old "it's over," because this one is never going to be over. The potential of a late game choke apparently exists here, but I think we are good to go on our end here, and you guys can actually prove yourself. Let's see if Oddme can hold his words here.
If I get 116 this run, Tischel has to invite me to the boys.
Whoa.
Okay, interesting.
I have no power.
Anyways, nice trash talk you guys have going on there. I think you better leave now and focus on the race.
All right,
we are good on our end here.
Peace.
All right, so I'm feeling the heat.
Yeah, that's some shots fired in the pre-talk there.
Oh,
I gotta love
that
that
run,
banter.
that boosted
Otmi
my
apparently not
confidence for
knowing
this
how to leave the
category.
call.
All right, bye.
All right, so this is going to be a good one, I guess, because we do have the little storyline here between Otmi and Tischel, apparently, with the little trash talk beginning. However, I feel like this can go either way, let's be real.
Now,
And
what
yeah.
round of the tournament of this are we in right now, Lim?
So
Give me some stats here.
All right, so this is the second round, which means I think this is actually Otmi's first match in the tournament because he did end up getting a bye. This is a 25 participant tournament. So Tischel already won the first match in round 1 against me, and now he's off against Otmi, and this is Otmi's first match. Round 2 once again. So yeah, everything can happen here.
Now, tell me, are we single elimination, double elimination? You know, what do these guys have on the line right now?
So this is in fact a best of 1 single elimination match. So whoever wins this one will be going over to the next round, round 3, which that is going to be going into the quarterfinals. But yeah, everything on the line, one race, everything matters. Every mistake might be the end of these guys' tournament journey as far as this one goes. And starting off at cap here, Tischel does have just a little bit more speed at the very start.
But we're pretty much tied up here. Now Cap Kingdom, what is so I'll admit I've been away from the scene a little bit, but I'm pretty sure Cap Kingdom is still exactly the same, right? We're not seeing anything fancy here. We still got left side boys, right?
So as far as cap goes, I feel like Otmi actually going for one of the newer strats. There's not too new. You can like time by power roll on the water there, but there's obviously nothing major that has been changed about Cap Kingdom in these recent times. However, people have been even going more insane, and some people actually were able to get like a 2:19 cap time.
Makes me sick. What's wrong with you guys?
I don't know.
Robots.
Yeah, it's talking about robots. Tischel easily climbing the left side as Otmi's just barely behind him, and Tischel probably with the better start here on top as Otmi desperately tries to get the heads up on top. He doesn't really cooperate though. Both finishing at the same time, really, though.
Tischel accidentally throwing his hat the wrong way there. Like, just a very small animation, but it makes a difference in Cap Kingdom. And we're pretty much neck and neck.
And yeah, both runners heading out of Cap Kingdom pretty much at the same time. We are seeing the title screen at the same time. Pretty solid cap times. Would assume this to be like a 2:24. So nothing, no major mistakes. Left side acquired and starting Cascade at the same time. And I'm pretty sure Tischel is going to be going for the new version of FMS, which actually has you go through the water section instead of setting up the rock. I think Otmi is going to be going for it as well. Let's see if they can both get it first try.
Now this is like much easier, right? Like, both of them first try.
I think, I mean, it is interesting to learn, but it's nowhere near the difficulty of FMS, and Otmi sadly taking a bonk there. So this is even faster than the old FMS, which makes it like super comfy. As Tischel runs over the trampoline, not getting the dino skip he wanted there, sets back up and misses it, and that is really awkward to control.
This is...
Oh, does he have enough distance?
Okay,
oh,
he makes it. Thank goodness. And it's just back and forth, back and forth. There we go.
And yeah, as far as Cascade goes, Madame Brutal Fight is going to be the exact same. However, for the last moon, there is a pretty interesting mechanic that has been found in like late June, which is called the chest clip. I'm not sure if you already got to see this.
Oh yeah, I'm on that one.
Yeah, but it has runners basically clipping through the ceiling using a pretty precisely timed cap throw into the moon while they are upside down. Which it's a very weird mechanic. I think it uses the game not being able to have Mario. Like every time a moon animation plays, Mario will be facing the camera. So if you hit the moon while being upside down, the game doesn't really know how to move him to be in that moon animation state. So it just warps him up a little. so
Yeah.
that he's still facing straight, and that actually makes it so that he clips through the ceiling.
We're gonna see that kind of same idea 3 times in his run, right? Or if we're lucky, the chest wooded and in snow, right?
So I think in snow is definitely what really matters here for world peace. It's basically around like 2 seconds faster than getting a first try downstairs wall clip, but you can't really think of getting a first try snow clip. It's very rare. So if you get the moon clip, that's definitely what you want. Otmi opening the chest a little bit too early, not even able to do the chest clip at all. Maybe Tischel can end up saving some time with this. He definitely got it, I think. Oh, actually clips back out, not getting the upward high enough.
Almost robbed there, yeah. Looked good to me, but another
Unfortunate bonk.
Unluckers.
Okay. Manages to get out of the alcove there. And both runners are gonna be off now to Sand Kingdom. And Nerf, what is your opinion about Sand Kingdom? What is actually like your favorite kingdom?
I want to say snow simply just because of old school Blowy Joey, but technically, I like sand. Like it's very very flashy. We got a lot of stuff around there, but sand's completely different from when I ran World Peace, right? Like we don't do we even go up to GSA anymore? Like what's going on there?
Nope.
What
there
happened,
have been
guys?
some very extensive changes about the sand route since pretty much this tournament. Since this tournament was around, or I guess announced, people suddenly got more interested about the category and looked into routing more. And we did find out that we could actually center this route pretty much exclusively around the bullet bill, which it does make sense. The bullet bill is probably the fastest capture in the game, especially since we found out quite a while ago that you can even get a little bit more speed in the bullet bill while not holding Y. That's actually really interesting because for some reason holding Y would override the speed.
Oh, Odyssey's getting that. Ooh,
yeah, the fast
that one always scares me. Yeah. But seems like you guys, and we don't even get top of the dune anymore.
Nope.
Man.
It is just a little bit too much out of the way. So Otmi is going to be going to the archway immediately here, and both of them are going to be going for Dram.
Both of them?
Oh,
the Lemon Goomba and Tischel just finding the corner of the wall there. I would be
pretty much at the same time.
Well.
As Otmi is setting up for the Dram strat here, it is very, very beneficial for you. If you do this route, you really want to make that strat work. If you miss it, the benefits of this route are not as strong. Otmi gets it very late there. And now he's actually going to be jumping out of the bullet bill, grabbing that checkpoint, and then recapturing it. And going to be flying over to the pillar. He is going to be using that checkpoint in the nighttime.
Now, that's very reminiscent of some very, very early on 80% sand routes.
Oh, true.
But yeah. And now, we were talking about this earlier. 1.0, everybody clips on the left side of his face. Oh, and Oddme, first try. Like, give me a break, dude.
Yep. Just turns out that, I mean, in 1.0, it's pretty much, it doesn't really matter if you go to the left side of his face or the right side. Clips are just way more lenient. As long as you get the road cancel in time, you should be able to clip it in. As Otmi actually did a little camera manipulation straight at the very start there to have a nicer cycle for the bullet bill. So he's going to be able to avoid the damage animation.
Oh, Tischel. Second try. Not bad at all. Some unfortunate, bonks and things are really keeping this lead separated here, but Tischel is pulling. I mean, it's pretty much one room behind.
Yeah, and the thing about World Peace in general is, since it is obviously centered about these boss fights and main story events, which pretty much at all times, a death in there would be a ginormous time loss. Thinking about a festival death or a death in like any boss would put you at the very start of the boss losing up to a minute and more. So no lead is safe in World Peace, as Otmi is starting with his second boss, I guess third boss fight here, if you count Topper and Cap. Going to be taking on Harriet.
One thing I love about World Peace is you do get to see a lot more of the game, but man, do I hate those bosses.
I mean, I agree. To be honest, in my opinion, World Peace, even though the category is basically centered around the boss fights, obviously, the bosses are still the most boring part. The interesting part is we get to see different moons, different routing, because we do need to take out these bosses and we do need to go. In my opinion, for example, Bound Ball is obviously super fun, but these boss fights like Naklotech,
Yeah.
Torque Drift, and Cockatiel can be very annoying.
Oh,
Also,
Cockatiel.
Seaside boss.
Oh, my heart.
Yeah, Cockatiel by far, in my opinion, the most annoying one with very, very scuffed hitboxes, if I do say so myself.
Scuff's a nice way to put it.
Probably. I mean, there's no. You at least need to get to the point. You know, I can't say it any nicer. It just sucks, to be honest. But yeah, Otmi starting up on Night Sand here, and Night Sand is very, very flashy, actually. If you do this route, Night Sand is all about having good control over the bullet bill, since we used it pretty much for every movement here in that patch. Obviously, starting up with the warp back to the checkpoint they got during the dram segment.
So it would not, yeah, because normally this would be a warp to Jaxi. Yeah.
Mhm.
So is
So
there more
the
bullet bill
first-
action? Oh my goodness, there is.
Yep. So Otmi actually deciding to get the first bullet bill, I really like this, because usually you would be on a very tight cycle here to get not only this pillar moon, but also steer into the block. And if you want to do that, you see the second bullet bill already got shot there. Usually it would just crash into the block, but he actually doesn't really need to care and can grab this bullet bill now and just get the cage moon and fly over to the luggage section.
Gotcha. I see Tischel taking a different approach. They're grabbing the same moon at the same time, but still behind too.
Yeah, Tischel opting to get the moon immediately. However, it's actually fastest to crash a bullet bill into the cage later on and then capture another bullet bill to get the moon without even uncapturing. But however, that's pretty hard because you do need to make that very tight bullet bill cycle there during the block. Tischel actually ends up getting it, so he's also going to be off. Oh, to luggage as he crashes the bullet bill into the wall. And this is going to result in quite a hard time loss, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because oh boy, these mummies. I'm not sure if you I mean, if you
I
know about these
remember
mummies,
them.
but
Nightmares. But it is a season. Yeah. Anybody selling Halloween celebrating Halloween this weekend? Anybody?
oh,
Any of
true.
them? Spoopy things, spoopy video games.
To
Now
be fair,
this
is
room
probably
is
one of the
different
most-
too.
Mhm. So this actually abuses the mechanic that I've been talking about earlier. If you use the mechanic where you don't hold Y the bullet bill to get the additional distance, you can actually make it over with the first bullet bill, which makes it so that that getting these additional night moons, in this case the one in the cage, is just
Mhm.
faster than grabbing the chest on the
That's
top
crazy.
right section. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tischel also getting the fast, just barely the fast grab there
Yeah.
on the bullet bill, almost falling to his death. As Otmi just started his Naklotech fight, as Tischel is like steering through these pillars without any problems. Nice movement.
You know, this boss isn't the worst. I always felt like this boss was consistent, but sometimes like if you hit one ice cube or whatever during the boss fight, I just feel like it's over. It's over. Call
Yeah,
it.
to be honest, the
Quit.
boss can get scary because you want to grab like these fists very quickly, and sometimes Mario just wouldn't stop rolling. Tischel already gets hit there by the first fist. So it's going to be a little bit more scary for him. There is some hearts that you could get during the fight, but you definitely don't want to take a death to this guy.
Yeah, that's. It would make me sad, Lim. I don't want to be sad.
I don't want to be sad either. As
Why
Tischel
would-
just barely dodges the fist, there would have been at 1 HP there. As
Mm,
he is
makes me
approaching the second
spooky.
phase.
Ooh.
So pretty much exactly
Oh.
one phase between Otmi and Tischel here. As Otmi takes down the boss, Tischel is still gonna have to fight him for one more round. And you see these runners roll over to the other side here, which apparently actually is faster because the hands of the boss shoot quicker back to the boss if he's facing that
okay.
direction. So kind of hard to catch optimization there. A pretty free one to get though. Like all you need to do is roll to the
Yeah.
other side. So definitely something people should be doing because they don't really risk anything. Tischel
Ooh,
grabs the
very
last
nice capture.
fist,
Oh.
but actually gets denied a little bit, hits the boss though, and is off to finish this one. As Otmi is about to hit the globe here.
Now, wha- how did the globes rate here in Lim? Me and you both hitting the globe at the end of every kingdom. What are the worst globes to hit here in World Peace? Is it still wooded?
Yeah, I'm still looking at the tier list for the worst globes in the game. In World Peace, it is way more lenient though, because mostly you'll be spawned in a way close to the globe. Because when you get World Peace in a kingdom, say say the one in Seaside or the one in Sand here, Cappy is going to talk to you, and the camera is actually going to be facing the globe. So it's mostly way easier to actually hit the globe in World Peace. But Tischel being done here with Sand as well as Otmi is heading over to Lake. And yeah, Lake Kingdom, pretty interesting place. It is pretty optimized. You guys you guys that run any percent do know about the optimization levels that Lake is going through. The Lake clip, something that people have been starting to look at, and apparently there's maybe some options to still use the Lake clip while still fighting Rango and maybe saving just a tiny bit of time. This is all theory crafting right now though, as Otmi is starting his zipper capture here, and he's going to be doing the just normal any percent Lake route. Tischel just getting there, going to be doing the same.
But other than that, right? This kingdom is exactly the same as 80%. Nothing much changed, right?
Nothing much changes, at least as far as it goes for now. As I said, there is these theory crafted routes that actually use a surface clip where you just walk into the wall at the very right. I don't know if it's like the pixel, but it's a very precise position, and you could use that to get like the checkpoint of the treasure chest on the painting, and then maybe cut out having to get the pillar moon, which is actually the slowest moon in this lake route because it does have this very long cutscene and you do need to swim down and then back up again. And if you could warp to the checkpoint at the painting, that would actually give you a way that is very quick to go over to the fight section here. But it's theory crafting right now. Lake is not really changed. It's unchanged basically at the moment.
Good old Lake. Rango. He's an alright bunny. I still think Topper can get out of here.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you were to rate brutal bosses, I think Topper and Bowser's is the worst. Like, it's the one that giving me the most nightmares. However, I do want to actually bring up the fact that since I've been looking into World Peace, Harriet and Bowser's got a little bit more strange because you kind of get used to the Sand Harriet more since you do it more often, and you are used to like having these straight cap throws to hit her, hit the bombs back. So
Yeah.
it actually messed with me before. Like I threw Cappy into the wrong spot.
It's those little things, man. You get those muscle memories, and then you go change it up. I always wonder how people learn so many routes, like AUM, darker side, like 100%.
A lot of stuff going on if you do these different categories. Some moons just
practice.
It is the practice mentality. However, it is getting even harder these days because these categories, like any percent, obviously has been getting a ton of love when it comes to like these optimizations and these route timing comparison videos. This is just at a level where World Peace and also Darker Side cannot be at right now, so routes are still pretty consistently changing in these categories, so you do need to keep track if you want to get the optimal time.
It's insane. It's insane how fast it, we're still finding things.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. It actually doesn't stop, and it's probably never going to stop at this point. As Otmi unfortunately kicks the rock away from him, he's going to have the other rock back there as a backup though, so not losing too much time really.
Tell me about Wooded Limb. What's new here? Are we going to see the clip? Not going to see the clip. Dark Wooded. When are we bringing back Deep Wooded?
Dude, that's actually a really interesting question because we have been looking at this with a very interesting character before about the assist warp. I think this is even a little bit too much to go into during this race. However, you can actually abuse the nut clip in this category. I'm not sure if Otmi is going to be trying it.
It looks like he's setting up for it.
Yeah, he might have actually missed it there because he was a little bit too far off the wall after the clip. I don't know if Tischel goes for it and runs, but you can actually use the nut clip there to basically skip the animation of the gate. And also, you can, if you do precise movement, you can even use the out of bounds section to climb up to the nut that Otmi is going over with the uproot now. Saving around like 7 seconds if everything works out nicely.
Oh, okay. So really, it's more about skipping that cutscene than it is getting to the different moons.
Yeah, in any percent, we use that obviously to gain access to different moons. We get these moons in World Peace anyways, though, so it doesn't save as much time.
Gotcha.
But yeah, as far other than that, other than this clip attempt, Otmi is going for some very
Odd.
moves.
Oh, I've not seen that before.
The spin pound roll cancel to
And then he messes it up by taking damage. Come on.
trying to be optimal and buffering a jump there, which is actually possible. You can buffer a jump on the poison and just get a little bit of a better angle on top of the piranha plant, but Otmi sadly not making that work.
He said he was gonna choke. I guess he didn't want to be a liar. He didn't want to be a liar.
I think he's definitely still doing well for himself. However, this section in particular is very scary.
For free, though.
Tischel also faltering against the poison here. Gets the piranha kill. And Otmi coming up at tower skip here, which this trick isn't too hard mechanically, but if you mess it up, oh boy, you'll be spawned back at the piranha story mode. Actually, misses the dive there. He manages to stay back up. Backflip. And gets on the loading zone for the fight. And it's going to be fighting Spirit, which in my opinion is probably the easiest of them is Tischel. Oh no, he's going towards the deep woods. Oh my goodness, I got so scared. He was literally diving.
Yeah, how close was that?
Oh, Jesus, wait, Otmi's at 1 HP, what is happening?
What?
At 1
What is
HP
going
fighting
on?
Spirit here? Getting the hit, and Jesus Christ, what is happening here? Oh, Tischel having a rough time here.
Running it back, yeah.
Gets the nut moon here. He does need to go over and make that tower skip work. We got scared there, by the way, because Tischel was diving towards the deep woods loading zone, which would have been horrendous. It would have been awful.
Yeah, it would have been maybe maybe the end of that.
I guess he could have picked up some moons and then skipped the ones that he would have gotten later, but they would have still been slower, and that would have still been a pretty massive mistake. Because he needs to fight Spirit here to gain access to the boss that he's going to be fighting to actually get the world peace in this kingdom.
Yeah, that's right. There's actually another boss you have to fight completely here in Wind Kingdom to get world peace, right? What's his name?
Torque Drift is his name.
Oh,
It's the flower UFO guy. Otmi does some very fast movement over to the section. Very
quick back.
And yeah, taking the confidence to only take one shot here while jumping into that tank and even getting a power roll. He's definitely playing very well so far. And I don't know if you know about this movement, but Otmi is going to be using the rocket flower here to jump over to the fence nut and break that one.
Oh, that's pretty swaggy. I like that. The rocket flowers being one of my... I mean, I wish we could see it more throughout this game. It's a very fun mechanic in Odyssey. Or at least I thought so. Oh, well,
yeah, I agree.
Here in Wooded and Seaside. Both of them.
Darker Side has this one very interesting jump where you use the rocket flow to like jump all the way over to the Captain Toad. I'm not sure if you've seen that one before. It's very flashy looking. But other than that, you're right. It's not really too used. Because there's just not access to them.
Yeah, that's yeah. If they were all over the place,
Obviously, that would be quite comfortable. Sand coming into mind.
Oh man, if you could fly around sand, the dream. Oh, Tischel. Wind Kingdom is just not giving him a nice time, huh? But he'll get out of here. Not a problem. He's a top runner. Oddman could. I don't want to talk too bad about him. But he could choke.
He could in this boss fight. Probably the biggest meme to die to. However, it is possible. We've seen it in this tournament before now, by the way.
to this boss?
Yes.
Oh, Torque Drift death?
Yes. We've got it all. We've got festival deaths.
Are you lying to me?
No. It is possible. So
Is
let's
it
not-
April
let's not-
Fools? What's the date
Let's not
today?
blame these guys. Come on,
we were
dude.
changing dates earlier. Well, now
This is sadly not a joke. This boss, I mean, it's hard to dodge him.
Yeah.
I give it to you, but it's the one thing that is actually possible. What can happen to you if you're trying to go too fast? You could extend the legs in a bad spot, and then you could like extend the legs through the brick block and ending up hitting the boss's like main hitbox. And if that happens like 3 times in a row, it could happen. I'm not assuming these runners will have that happen to them. I'm just saying it's possible.
Oh, that would be rough. That'd be a rough time one.
Well, let's not jinx them though.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the one thing
Now-
we didn't see yet is someone losing bound ball though. That's actually the one thing I'm looking out for.
Oh, geez, that'd be rough. Is there much text to this boss? You know, other than just get to the other
Actually,
flowers as quick as you can and get back to the boss, or
There is a pretty interesting tech, and that has something to do. You see, Tischel's speed here on the uproot is actually very fast, and you might have noticed this every time you use an uproot before. If you actually do like a little boost of these spawning platforms, it will just feel a little bit more fluent, and that actually is what we call these days literally the speedy nut boy. I'm not even kidding. This is the official Odyssey community name. And for some reason, you won't get like
That's
stunned
perfect,
if you don't get you see Tischel bouncing on the ground. They're not
Yeah.
being like stun locked for a very quick, a short amount of time. And yeah, that's actually we abused at the end of this fight to get to these flower blocks a little bit quicker and basically hit the boss before he even gets a chance to turn.
it's insane. Speedy nut boy. I mean, you gotta go fast. Is finishing up the wooded kingdom here. What's next, Slim? What's next?
The next place, it is known, the good old Cloud Kingdom. Not
Ooh.
too high, if you ask me. However, we might see Otmi. If Otmi is a man of his word, he's going to be doing a very interesting strat at the start of Cloud Kingdom, because there's actually a version of the so-called there's a version of the so-called Cloud Boost that I actually have been finding like a long time ago. Originally found by Minyash, and I found like a version that makes it a little bit easier. And Otmi said, like in a race a long time ago, he said every time I'm commentating his races, he's going for Cloud Boost. So I'm gonna have the eyes open right now.
Let's watch for it, boys.
Uh-oh, not going for it.
Not odd me. Who can we trust, Lim?
I don't know.
Who can we trust?
I'm actually a little bit disappointed here for sure.
You know.
I was really ready, you know. I was happy, but you win some, you lose some, is what they say. And
Yeah.
we did mention that the possibility of a choke is a thing, so I actually don't mind anymore if that happens. So no, I'm kidding. I don't want. I don't want to take it that far. Not getting these hits in here.
It's alright. It's alright, Lim. I'll get you some ice cream after this. You don't
Let's
gotta
do
worry
it.
about Odd Bay. He's mean. But there it is. There's Cloud Kingdom, everybody.
Very
I think I've
exciting.
only seen that Cloud Boost maybe once or twice.
Mhm.
They were thrown into a run or that I've seen around. It's
Yeah,
scary.
like
Very spoopy.
the very peak of any percent, like kind of does it. Very few people only though. Like Fur is one of the runners that does it in runs, and Lil Curbs. But other than that, pretty underused strat. It is a pretty big time save though. It saves around a second over the normal strat, which is a lot these days in any percent set.
Yeah, isn't that crazy to say?
Oh, Tischel.
Tischel.
Missing the second phase. He got me approaching Lost Kingdom, which is still, to this day, one of the scariest kingdoms. Not really in terms of difficulty. Like, we probably improved to a point where this is actually pretty easy, in quotes. Take this with a pinch of salt. However, the punishment for a fall or just a mistake in general is still massive here. Like, if you do a small, like a bonk in sand, I mean, you bonk, right? But in Lost, if you fall and bonk,
Oh, okay. What do we do? We die. Okay,
smart
I agree
decision.
with that one. It's fine.
Smart
Save.
decision.
Yeah, save it. Start it over.
Otmi actually very, very lucky there, because he could have unintentionally grabbed that checkpoint on the bottom there, and if that would have happened to him, he would have ended up with a pretty big problem, because he wants to get back to the Odyssey, obviously, so
It's a
being
warp
able to
out or
redo this.
something.
Yeah, warping out would have probably been the only choice at this point.
Yeah.
Like warping back
But
to the
there-
Odyssey.
as you can see, the risks involved in most of the tricks in Lost Kingdom may not be hard to execute this kingdom, but man, when you mess it up, you
Yep.
mess it up. Like it is.
And that will never change
Thumbs up.
because there's always going to be poison and there's always going to be klepto. Oh,
Yeah.
Oddly, nice dive there. Not even having to climb the stairs.
Yeah, looking very clean.
Tischel also flying through the stage here, getting an
One of the
instant dive. into the
scariest
wall.
spin times there.
And yeah, we are going to be seeing a decision that he's going to have to make here. Oatme is going for it again. Don't do it to me. Don't do it. Is he actually having the balls to do this again? He did this before in a race, and there's no way. Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my goodness.
This guy is actually a madman. He did this in a race here on GSA before, and I popped off. And even though he had a pretty big mistake, he still had the confidence to go for that. So that's actually
Yeah, that is
deserving of a lot of respect. That is not easy if you get like the nerves.
Yeah, to grab that very first bug there during that moon. Woo.
Yeah, usually you see Tischel do what people usually do because that gives you a little bit more time to set up the triple. Because if you do throw Cappy to this bug, you will need to keep your speed over this entire section. Tischel having a little bit more time there. And actually, Box, he's gonna be dying here.
Why?
Okay, now, so this is gonna be very interesting because if Tischel wants to get access to the moon, the cage is gonna be open. But if he touches the base of the tree stump after getting this moon, Klepto is actually gonna steal his head. I'm pretty sure he knows about this, but definitely needs to be careful now. He cannot even touch the bridge.
Is he gonna go for this?
Yep.
Okay.
It was the
woo.
only way. He couldn't have even touched the bridge.
Yeah.
He would have gotten his head stolen. So
Good
makes that
move.
work.
Lost Kingdom.
Being lost here again, yeah.
Being,
Never gonna change.
being exactly that and taking all your time. Not being kind to either runner there. Both having to take some pretty intentional deaths.
Sad for them, as Otmi would have probably lost a little bit, like actually a fair bit of his lead here to Tischel if Tischel would have managed to clean up this loss. Unfortunately, taking that very last death there, costing him a lot of time. And Otmi is off to Metro, which is a very distinctively different kingdom in World Peace than in any percent. One, not because we get this moon in nighttime, that's probably one of the most minor changes, but we obviously do need to get World Pieces, so we do need to do the festival.
The festival. So how many musicians? 4?
Exactly.
10?
10, dude, what are you saying? Is it like a big band now?
Yeah,
It's gonna be
there's an
like the-
update in 1.3. The band gets huge.
The band gets huge. Yeah, it's actually
Yeah,
the Super Mario
update.
Odyssey Orchestra. You gotta get
Yeah,
50
yeah.
musicians all around the world to have like the biggest assembly of top musicians. Yeah.
You gotta
this is-
find like a first chair violinist. You guys get the point. The kingdom gets longer, and Tischel having a little bit of
Jesus,
trouble
that's
here. I
rough.
think. Yeah.
That's rough for Tischel there. He definitely had some sloppy movement here at the start, so he actually needed to do this long jump here, which is something that runners are not really comfortable with doing anymore because we did find faster strats, and then he ends up taking them on the huge time loss. Nothing like game ending or game deciding, but definitely rough to deal with.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Climbing that girder is not only is it very slow, it just feels slow.
Yeah.
You have to watch Mario go back and forth.
That's true, because I think actually, obviously something being slow is bad for your time, but something feeling slow is just bad for like your health. Not your health, but you just literally feel that if you have to like slowly crawl up these like girder thingies.
Or just wait on a cycle. You know what I mean? Just like something that just eats time.
A good example for this is a 3-cycle Wiggler, which
please.
Oddly seems to be avoiding here. Because if you mess up this fight, you just know you messed up, and the Wiggler will be flying around you, basically laughing at you. So something you do want to avoid at all costs.
Hopefully we don't see one of those limb. What's the saying? I've never seen a 3-cycle, and I never will.
Oh yeah. No one ever will see a 3-cycle on GSA at least, because we obviously have the top tier runners here. No mistakes. Okay, I'm definitely not making the statement, by the way.
Nobody would. No, it's on the stream. The quality.
Yeah, that we won't see. Right? We won't see 3 seconds. I'm just making that point. It's just not. It's not a thing actually. You cannot even get a 3 cycle.
Yeah. Actually, most people would say that if it's a 3 cycle, you might as well just make it a 4, so that way you can keep the image up.
Oh yeah, true. That sounds very rational. Yeah, that sounds smart, to be honest.
Yeah, because you can't be wrong. Now, Day Metro obviously gonna be pretty much different. Oh, or not. No.
I hope he did that.
No, he's the sniper. He's a sniper, dude.
Yeah.
Tischel.
So interesting. One thing that I want to point out here is I did get timed that if you want to do sewer clip, which Oddme seems to be doing here, the fastest moon that you want to be getting is this one. You can fling yourself over, grab the pylon out of the air, and then make your way over to Pauline to initiate the musician quest.
Got you. So you skip bench and the one down the girder, huh?
I mean, you will skip bench and the what's his face? Pool moon. Right?
Got you. Alrighty. But we'll get some musicians.
You do get some musicians, no matter what, because we do need to assemble the band here, as these runners are on their way to do just that. Tischel getting a very clean spin hug at the start. That looked hot.
Has anybody made up names for the other 3?
True, that's something we should do as Tischel gets the catch. They're Oddme really having some issues to get the moon here at the pool, because I did obviously forget he does need to pick this one up since he skipped on the bench guy.
I hate to admit how many times I've also done that right there, because your camera's kind of like locked above you, so it's hard to like tell where you're at in space. Oh, but here we are getting Trumpet Boy, huh?
So it obviously doesn't matter in which order you'd get the musicians, because you basically doing a musician will set you back to the city at all times. Tischel getting very, very clean movement here as he rolls over to the drummer and Pauline, and Oddme's off to the guitarist.
Yeah, we gotta get names. We gotta get memes. And I mean, in fact, I think getting them a meme is more important than getting them a name.
I mean, it is correct. Obviously, in my opinion, OTEP is not even a valid name. It is a dead meme at this point, so we should probably come up with weird... No. We should come up with weird names.
You know, it may... It may be dead, but you know, it still has some history.
But why wouldn't you like take the time to give these guys actual names? You know, they just stand around there trying to be nice. You give you a moon and you just meme on them. That's not fair, dude. I think they deserve actual names.
I mean, they're in a band. Any publicity is good publicity.
Like, why wouldn't the drummer be called Tom? I don't get it. Is that too much to ask? Or?
Why would you call him Tom?
I mean, doesn't he look like a Tom? The drummer looks like a Tom. You know, Tom is actually a name for a literal drum. Actually, that was 200 IQ without even realizing. There's Toms on a drum kit. He's gonna be called Tom from now. I don't care. As of me,
Tom.
Sewer clip here doesn't get it first right. Tom giving Tischel his moon.
Sewer clip. This one's pretty rough, right? Like, it's up there on the
even
nobody ever do this because this sucks.
Basically, it is not the same anymore. Oddme gets it right there. It probably didn't really save time with it. You want to be getting it in around, I'd say, like 5 to 6 attempts, the latest, to still save time. Especially if you get bonks in between the attempts get time costly. And this clip is always going to be hard. It is probably one of the hardest clips in 1.0. And in 1.2 it's possible, but it's even harder. Like, it's not even fair. It's like a joke. Yeah. It is possible. We've seen people literally go for it in runs, but pretty much only Timpani at this point, I think.
What a mad lad. That's some mad lad stuff right there.
I agree. But yeah, Tischel, Tom and the boys acquired. So he's going to be getting...
Tom and the boys.
Wait, that's actually such a good name for it. I'm sorry.
I'd go to that, yeah.
So Tom and the boys acquired, And Tischel making his way over to the sewer section. He's also going to be attempting sewer clip as far as I know. So
Oh,
let's
Mad Lads! Hashtag Mad Lads, please. Oh,
being a little roughy on him. This clip is really hard. Fifth try,
Ooh.
that's probably still fine. He probably ended
Yeah,
up saving a
that's
little bit
good.
with it.
and he
Not what he
killed
wanted.
both of those. I didn't even see him kill the first one.
Yeah, he jumped basically onto it with the roll cancel.
And
Like he
oh
roll
my
cancelled through the
goodness.
wall and then just jumped while the camera was still behind the wall. So basically blindly taking that out as Otmi is approaching festival here, jumping through the stage, jump up superstar. This festival can actually be quite scary if you don't know what you're doing, because you want to be avoiding damage at all costs at these early rooms. As Otmi takes one, he's probably still fine because the last room can get scary, especially if you take damage early, and Otmi would be at 1 HP here. Gets rough.
Oh, don't even dream on it.
I'm definitely not trying to jinx anybody here, but this last room, infamous for getting quite scary towards the end, but Otmi making a good job with his first jumps here. Not taking damage so far.
You trying to tell me people get defeated by barrels? Oh my
Otmi
goodness,
on 1 HP
Rodney.
here, snacking
Yeah.
through though. Very quick hits to take out DK, but we did see a death in this section before, and it's not going to stop. And I said this previously, by the way, and I think this is a very valid point for not only World Peace but every speedrun. If you do take these steps, you should obviously probably just laud at yourself, and because if you get scared about these sections, it will mess with your confidence and it will mess with your speed that you could actually obtain if you just play towards your maximum capability. So don't take these steps too hard, man. It happens to the best of them. We've seen Suiseiga die to ruined in a world record pace. We've seen festival deaths, and we've seen it
I
all.
remember that day.
Yeah, sad
I
day.
remember. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I know another pretty old any percent runner that lost the PB to the ruined boss once nerf.
Oh man, I remember a guy who was on a pretty heavy PB pace and then lost it to ruined.
That's what I'm saying. It happens to the best
Who
of them.
would ever?
Tischel, 1 HP at the very end. He's gonna be able to just barely sneak through this barrel with the damage boost. It still gets scary. All the time.
Gonna have to name Tom and the Boys' first album, Death by Barrel.
Oh damn, that's actually hot.
Yeah,
Yeah, that band is gonna pop off.
Yeah, we're gonna see
Tom and the
those
Boys,
on
Death
top of the
Barrel.
billboards.
Out on October 27th this year, which is
man.
actually going to be the anniversary of this game.
That's right. What's going on? We should. What's going on? Like somebody has to have something big planned. Right?
I think there's been talks about a potential happening. I don't actually know anything about it, but there's probably something happening. This game reaching its first birthday is impressive, not because it is a year old, but because what we achieved in that year. In my opinion, it's actually been massive.
Snow Kingdom. I want to keep talking about that, but Snow Kingdom is pretty different, right? We don't really beat a boss here other than Bound Bowl, right? We're calling that
So
boss.
it is interesting though, because technically there is a boss in Snow Kingdom. But for some reason, if we skip this boss and take out the very last story event, the game thinks we did end up beating Rango, which hides in one of these sub-rooms as a refight. So it is still possible to get World Peace without taking out this boss, usually in some other places. Or getting the move clip, by the way.
Where is he? Is he still good? Yeah,
he's still good, yeah. He wanted to be in that spot. He kind of took his time to make that clip work, but that's huge. Because if Tischel misses that, he's going to be struggling with Snow Clip, which is also not as hard as Pipe Clip, as Sewer Clip, but one of the rougher ones. Definitely harder than IP, which is the Inverted Pyramid Clip. But yeah, for some reason, even though there is a boss in this kingdom, you do not need to take it out. You just need to basically take care of the very last story event, and then there's a flag set that says, okay, he did everything in snow, so he's getting the World Peace achievement. So yeah, we are able to skip that section. However, Bound Bowl is a pretty interesting story event, to say the least.
I love it. I am always a big fan of like timed mini games within a speed run. You know, you get that speed run within a speed run kind of feel.
Oh yeah, and it is very cool to just, like, you know, the slides on SM64, and this is kind of like a slide type of feeling here going into the Bound Bowl section, because there is the possibility to have some guesses going on. I think Tischel actually ended up getting the move clip as well.
Oh, thank goodness.
That's nice.
Gets-
That dive is actually...
Where's
Yep.
he going?
I don't know. He died.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus. He was gonna die. He was not sure what movement to do, or maybe he missed his movement, so he ended up missing the loading zone. That's unfortunate. He needs to redo the clip. I think he's gonna be good to go soon, though, as we get the chance to get a guess here on Otmi's final time. I'm gonna be giving Otmi a 55. Let's not go into decimals. Let's just say the second.
55.
I'm gonna give him 55.
I don't know. I don't know. I'll go 56. I don't know if I trust him this time.
Okay, okay. I mean, his lap times look solid here. Not like the very best I've seen, but definitely pretty solid bound balls so far. No major hiccups. So 55 might actually have been a pretty decent guess here. That one definitely losing a little bit of speed. And this is actually looking to be a 56 nerve with his game knowledge. He just knew.
Just knowledge.
Wow. Tischel, very optimal line there towards the fight. He's basically starting his race. As Otmi is
Yeah.
getting the prize.
You know, and like we said, like all of these big events here are the ones you got to be careful on, like
Yeah.
messing up bound bowl or
It
having
is
to
hard
redo bound
to
bowl.
lose to
Or,
bound ball, to be honest. It's really hard. I messed up super bad recently, and I still won pretty easily. But it is possible. Let's not fool ourselves here. And let's get in the prediction for Tischel, because I'm personally going to be giving Tischel a 57 on this attempt.
57? No, I think he's gonna make up a whole second over on me. I think it is gonna be. This is gonna be the 55.
To be honest, that first lap was solid. This is probably easy.
Yeah.
A 55 pace at this point. So let's see if Tischel can make that work. He's actually very quick here. This is fast.
This is some hot fire right here.
This is a low 17. He can actually get like a 53 here.
Woo.
This is actually very sick to watch.
Fast boy.
Jesus, that's so clean. Oh, I want to do the race like this. Whoa! That's a 52! What? I mean, that's just
Man,
way
bad.
above average.
Insane.
Holy damn.
4
Tischel.
seconds.
Oh,
4
Otmi's actually going to be
seconds.
doing Snowdram.
Solid.
Actually,
Snowdram
Otmi is actually going to
in
be doing
World
Snowdram
Peace?
and World Peace. It does save 2 seconds. I knew that because he stayed in Lucky 2 here. So he's going to be doing Snowdram at the World Peace state Snow. Let's see if he can make it work, because it does save 2 seconds if you get it first try. Angles look fine. Bombs. That rainbow spin was not delayed enough. So that's
what's the reset here? Okay, just warp back, huh? So that's
yeah,
pretty
you can't,
punishing.
there's no backup.
There's no backup. Okay.
Because you get the timer moon at the very start, and Tischel is about to get it. I'm pretty sure Tischel is not going to be doing Snowdam, so Otmi does need to get it here pretty quickly.
Yeah, he needs this. He's counting on this right now.
I don't like this cap throw again. Oh, barely makes it
Alright.
over.
Okay, yeah, he that's really all he could afford right there is missing that one time.
Yep.
Missing that another time, you would have probably seen these line back up. So
For sure, for sure.
very hard trick there, but getting it second try is still decent. Still gonna keep him ahead in this race.
Oh,
And
Tischel.
here's the bunny. The bunny,
He
maybe
tried-
the hardest trick in the whole game. The bunny.
Yep,
First try.
Tischel definitely showing that one off. To be honest, he wanted to do like a spin throw, because you can spin throw and then like roll towards the bunny, which is probably the easiest way to get the bunny quickly. However, if you miss it, he is gonna mess with you. And we did actually get the chance to talk about fishing, which is kind of a random mechanic in this game. Otmi ended up getting a first bite. It is actually possible to lose quite a bit of time if the fish takes his time. Tischel getting a first bite as well.
Right?
I've actually rarely seen non-first biters here. We've seen people get up to 8 bites.
8.
8.
Mad, sickening.
That is actually sickening. And Tischel deciding to play it safe, you're taking this quite a bit slower moon than Snowdram, around like 2 seconds slower. I guess if you were to do like a setup-less Snowdram could yield in like a 4-second time save, but yeah, we don't even do that in any percent, so probably not happening soon.
Okay, so he just grabs the timer challenge and
Yep.
gets out of there. Go on and get. Well, Snow Kingdom's actually a pretty fun kingdom then, huh? Yeah, pretty.
Oh, for sure. It's probably my
You
favorite.
have a lot of options. Yeah.
in World Peace is probably my favorite because I also do Snowdram and I actually just like getting the trick. And since my runs are still very far from optimized, I can even miss it a couple times and still PB.
Actually, take everything I said about Snow Kingdom back. It's no good in World Peace. You know why?
Huh?
You don't talk to Toad and you don't get a blowy Joey.
True though.
What is World Peace doing? Like,
Wait, that's actually true. Wait, is that really World Peace then?
yeah, I mean, there's a freezing Toad somewhere.
That's what I'm
know.
saying.
Yeah, like
is
is
that
everybody
world really
happy? Is
peaceful?
Toad is he peace? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Toad will still be stuck there. He won't fulfill his quest. He all he needs to do is give Mario his moon, but he will be stuck there and he will probably be very sad. As Otmi is actually going over here and trying to show off the new seaside road. He actually, I think he kind of misaimed there. Didn't really know where the Cheep Cheep was. But yeah, we do get these two underwater moons here, the Cheep Cheep one and the one which is called Merci Dory. The moon below Dory here. And yeah, we are only going to be getting like 2 different moons and the rest is going to be story moons, obviously, because we do need to unlock the fountains to be able to fight. Brigadier the Third, Mollusk, Lanceur, Bluebane the Third, or whatever. I actually said I was going to learn his name, but it's just too hard, dude. I don't know how
Yeah,
people do it.
I've heard it a few times, and I'm,
Dude, I think I'm just going to call him Mollusk. It's such a sick name.
the
Mollusk.
seaside boss.
Okay, I mean, I guess that works. Dude, why can't he
Can I
also be
take
called Tom?
the
Let's
most-
be
the
real. Imagine
most-
if he called Tom. Would be so easy.
If who is what?
The boss.
We
Why
call
can't
him
If
Tom.
everybody was named Tom, this game would be
Everybody's
super easy.
named Tom. I'll capture that Tom over there and then head over to the other Tom to get the Tom Moon.
Yeah, that's what Otmi is actually doing now. Capturing these Toms is actually quite fast because obviously you do get access. Oh, Tischel capturing the Tom, they're flying over.
Yeah.
I think this is enough. As Otmi is getting the last story moon here on his way to the boss fight.
Man. So how many? We got to get 4 corks. All right. And then now, tell me about this boss coming up, Lim. Now there's something about there's a clip involved. Like you can get him to go through a wall. You got to hit him. You got to spray him with the Tom, and then
It
what?
is quite crazy. You can actually, like, what you want to be doing with this boss fight is you basically want to predict where he's going. The boss always stops at the same spots, so Otmi is going to be flying there as soon as possible to get his first hit in. These first hits are pretty easy. All you need to do is basically know where he's going. He's going to be at the lighthouse next. The third hit is going to be a bit different because your objective here is to basically... Otmi is struggling a little bit to get the hit on the lighthouse here. Once you miss these hits, the boss is really getting annoying.
I hate this boss.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of the most annoying parts. So what Otmi needs to do now is... I'm not even sure if he can make that work because the boss is quite fast. And since he's falling here, I think he might actually end up missing the clip. Because if you want to make this clip work, you need to beat the boss on its way to the hot springs. And he's going to be too late. So you won't be able to make him clip through the wall here. You basically need to be at this spot before the boss is there to make him clip.
But he'll take the same path every time if you get the right setups.
Yeah, but now he's actually going to be going around the hot
yeah.
springs because he wasn't there in time. He would have clipped through the wall if he was there before. Oh, he actually had 1 HP. So he needs to make these... He's maybe getting the checkpoint. Smart choice, honestly. Playing it safe.
Way too scary. Having to reset this boss would be...
This boss is...
Oh,
this
my
fight is
heart
not
would
going in his favor. And
explode
Tischel might be
out
able
of
to...
anger.
Tischel might be able to abuse that. As Otmi gets the last head in there.
You know what? That boss always felt so random, but I know it's not. But man,
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, you really need to like do science. Like you need to do like a masterclass to understand the boss. Tischel, however, got some very sick first hits in, and he is in the spot he wants to be in now. The annoying part is you see the camera tries to turn back to the boss and make you look at him. So he turns the camera back because all he needs to do is to get to the spot he's aiming here right now. And now he's actually beat the boss at the spot he gets hit, and now the boss actually going to be clipping through the wall. I think even still, he just barely still hit him. Yeah, he's going to be clipping through the wall, and he can instantly ground put him right here. Gets it. Nice fight.
Okay, That's what he needs to keep doing if he wants to pull ahead or really close this gap. And that boss fight definitely saved him some time there.
You know, he's actually not even a minute
yeah.
behind anymore. I think at some point he
Yeah.
was a minute behind, but definitely not anymore.
Mad Vlad showing off Seaside Kingdom there, and
Yeah, since Bound Ball, he has been. To be honest, after he beat Bound Ball, after he got the 52, I think the energy was flowing through him or something. He's actually been playing very well.
What are you trying to say?
I mean,
he started taking something. What's in him?
No, this is called serotonin. I think is the word. You know, it's like you achieve
like adrenaline. He got a 52
basically.
in Bound Ball, and then he's just popping off for the rest of the night.
Exactly, dude.
Dang, Bound Ball is lit.
To be honest, looking at that Bound Ball, even I got a little rush there. That was actually so clean from Tischel. That race definitely very impressive, as Otmi is coming up at the last World Peace exclusive kingdom, because the last 3 kingdoms will be basically like any percent. Luncheon, however, is quite different.
Now, Luncheon, as much as, it's a hate-love for me in Luncheon when it comes to this game, but somebody doing Luncheon well, I think, is one of the most impressive kingdoms, just because of the geometry of this level, and you really get to use everything the game has to offer when it comes to spin pounds, roll cancels, RCJs, like up throws right there. Like there's a spot for them almost.
To be honest, that's so interesting. I literally talked about this up throw in particular, like 5 minutes before the race started, because I got issues there on that spot, because it's very easy to do like one of these unintended cap balls, and that up throw actually got recommended to me, and I saw how it works nicely there. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's just one of those kingdoms where you really it really highlights like the movement options we have, even even clips and captures, this crazy stuff. We get to see the difference between not doing something with the motion control and doing something with motion control and forks. It shows off everything.
It really does. And Tischel actually taking a bonk there. It's going to be falling down just a little bit, but not taking damage on the lava, which is probably what he wanted, because that would have been quite massive. But we also mentioned before that Luncheon is quite weird because of its geometry, and Otmi is going to be coming up at a very cool jump here. Makes a triple on top of the wooden pillar and manages to dodge the wall of this. Almost falls down. But these like rocks have such a weird geometry, it's easy to fall on them.
Insane. That's what I'm talking about, you know what I mean? Like where it's really just a showcase of everything.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, insane.
And Otmi is going to be going over. He's not going for any turnip flips here, because there is a World Peace version of turnip flip where you throw the turnip from the plaza over to the cage.
The cheese giving him. Oh.
Yeah. Showing why everybody hates the Story Moon the most.
Just the only block he needed to break was the only one left.
Death by Cheese. Tom and the Boys album too.
Talking about Cheese, we actually did see Cheese05 play this game for the first time on stream.
I saw that. I was lurking. Nutty.
Yeah, doing the spin pounds immediately, doing some dino skips there. But let's see how Tischel's Cheese is going, as he's also spamming down. That definitely was way more lenient.
Tischel has been a sniper today, both with the tank and the frying pans. Just precision gaming.
And honestly, not only that, but he's also been creeping behind Otmi here. He's catching up a lot.
Yeah.
And Otmi did say that his weakest point, I mean, arguably he said that Tischel's weakest point would be the late game as well. But if one of them, and if Otmi was to choke here in for example, the Cockatoo fight, or let's even say the way up there, because there's some pretty hard movement to get there quickly. I mean, that is maybe actually equalizing the lead here.
I'm all for it. Close game is always Tischel and the tomatoes. Just I don't know if this is Yeah, I don't know if this is that ground pound will always give me a heart attack no matter how many
Oh,
times
yeah.
I see like people go for it. Just the most-
And also the blind dive there. This section is so
Yeah.
scary. Probably one of the hardest movements in Luncheon. Like, not mechanically hard, but it's scary because, once again, the geometry of these rocks. And Odmi is going over to the timer challenge. That moon is the most annoying one for me in Luncheon, by the way. Not the hardest one because you don't have access on Cappy here. So I think people mostly do a double long jump into a triple. Odmi does this here and relies on making the jump without Cappy.
Yeah, because I mean, either way, you're gonna either wait for him or you're gonna just have to commit. Like, if you want to do that section fast, you gotta leave Cappy behind. You don't need him anymore, man. Leave him
And-
back there.
Yeah, and Cappyless movement is honestly the thing that scares me the most about every Mario game coming up in the future, because I got so used and so, like, spoiled by the huge, like, by the massive movement options this game has to offer, that I'm getting kind of scared what I'm going to do in the future.
Right.
But we'll see how this goes. As Odmi gets down to this moon, you can actually take a fall there and
Yeah,
lose
it's-
some hefty time.
Yeah, not falling right into the section that you need to be right there can just be miserable trying to get back up.
And yeah, Odmi still... Oh, Tischel using the fork. I have still no idea how runners actually get to fly into this direction with the fork, because it would usually always be locked in a certain position, but Tischel making it work. As he's going over to the overlooking the ingredients moon. Overlooking his ingredients here, and also heading into the volcano cave. And Odmi pretty much the volcano cave ahead here over Tischel.
I love this little jump coming up here.
Yeah. Odmi not going for the very quick movement there. I like the up throw. That is still very hot. Gets a triple throw into the dive. Not going for the cap return. Fast movement, backflip, up throw. Woo! He's flying. And off to Cockatiel.
Mad lads. Mad lads.
Yeah, I'm
And
interested
we're
what
off to
Tischel's
the
going to be
Cockatiel.
doing. Oh,
Not a problem.
Thank
He's got
God
a
there's
backup.
backups.
Like,
Yep.
practically, he just wanted to take
Yeah,
two of the boys.
these Toms are just in a very nice spot there. You can get them very quickly.
Convenient Tom cycle. Gonna grab that story Tom, and he's gonna open up the door and go back over to the enemies.
But let's talk about Cockatiel. Is, I think, and I'm still not sure if it's actually a she or a him. I'm not gonna assume anything here, but his or her hitboxes are awful, and Odmi gets the very first and second hit in quickly, but the third hit is where it's at. It's very easy to miss that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what they did with these hitboxes. I don't know if it's the.
Uh-oh, this is scary. What is he doing? He's freestyling.
Oh, he's gonna get it though. He's not
Ooh,
worried at
that's
all.
cool. And yeah, Odmi showing, actually getting in the hit right there, but already showing kind of how weird this hitboxes can be, but probably ends up with a decent fight here. Nothing too major. Tischel pause buffering there, pretty interesting. Probably assuming the cutscene fight was above the pot, while it's not.
It was actually RNG manipulation.
Oh, I mean that might be true.
Like look at how clean this boss fight is now. He knows
Okay.
every movement.
Okay, I'm interested now.
Yeah. See, he's not gonna miss a single hit. It's gonna be perfect. That one, he dropped a couple of frames.
Oh, that was unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Let's see how the
there it
main
was.
fight goes. Nice, that hit
this-
was clean.
Mm.
Third phase coming up though, the most scary one.
Is it? Oh.
Oh.
I think
we have frame drop.
maybe it's because it's so scary because we put too much fear in it, you know what I mean? Or maybe it's because it is really lame and this crap happens all the time.
It is true, but third phase will always be weird as Tischel
Yeah.
tries to climb up. That is actually very good. That's a 3-hop. That's optimal for this phase.
The 3-hop.
Definitely, like Tischel is the kind of player that would actually look into these things like the seaside boss and this boss and really try to understand how these cycles work, how the actual baseline of the game works in these spots, and he's making it pay off here in this race.
Yeah, it's impressive. Yeah, just that game knowledge helps in every part. Oh, but that's the end of luncheon. Now we're on to ruined.
And not only
Indeed.
that, but we are onto any percent portion of the run, which in these kingdoms you will be pretty much doing the exact same as an any percent, because even any percent would basically acquire the world peace state, as it has to take out the 2, I guess 3 main bosses if you count Bowser. And yeah,
What-
Otmi actually famously being one of the very first people to embrace the dying in ruined meme, so let's see if that works out well for him.
Being the first trendsetter, or the first bandwagoner. What peace is brought to this kingdom? You know, like, does destroying this creature really make it that much more peaceful there?
That is actually true, because when you return to the spot, I mean the dragon actually is around and he's like no, okay, so I think the dragon is actually friendly. He's just like going through like an emo phase, you know?
Yeah, he's just misunderstood.
No, that's why he made the place look like so edgy. But now that
Okay.
Bowser actually took him over, because that's why he has like this crown and Bowser's controlling him. So you take off the crown and he's just chilling there for the rest of the game, you know?
So he's chill. It's us that's not chill.
No, I mean we try to help, you know. Bowser is the bad guy. Because he's trying to control him, you know. He's basically mind controlling him with the crown there, you know.
I don't want to like cause any spoilers, but isn't this whole game, isn't everything really caused by aliens at the end? The cube aliens?
I mean, you're not supposed to give this away.
Oh,
Happens to the
Lim.
best of them. But the real question, and Ruined is probably a good place to talk about these nonsense facts, is who is actually the guy in control? Is it Cappy or is it Mario? I do want to hear your thoughts. Like, are we controlling Mario
man.
or are we controlling Cappy, mind controlling Mario? You know, that's the question.
I think it's gotta, we're Cappy.
I think so.
I think we're the Cappy.
Because, you know, like when we capture something, you do still see Cappy on top of the head, you know? We still have Cappy
that
visible.
was
you
my
know?
point, is it? You're always at least Cappy.
Yep. So this game should actually be called Cappy Odyssey, I guess.
Yeah, Super Cappy Odyssey.
I guess.
When, you know, what does everybody want in Super Cappy Odyssey 2? Like,
Oh yeah, that's an
what-
interesting fact.
What hasn't been done?
I think, however, it is probably going to be next episode on Nerf and Limcube watch players go through Ruined as we approach Bowser's Kingdom here, which is actually quite intense. And as we did here earlier, Otmi is kind of scared about this place as far as chokes go. So this race is not over yet, and Otmi needs to prove himself here, going through these Goombas at the very start and
Yeah.
heading towards the first circle.
Another area where a death, it's not the most costly, but a death here, one of the things that it makes it just feel awful. We were talking about this earlier, where just like a death just feels like a big time loss,
Oh,
is
yeah.
because the kill plane is so low that like when you fall, you've got like 3 seconds to yourself to just be like.
It is like
"Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
I'm
they always
dying."
say. It's like they always say, you know, like your life will like go. You will see your whole life going by
Yeah.
your eyes. This is basically how dying to Bowser's feels. Is you like fall for 6 hours,
It's
regretting
even
your mistakes.
Yeah. All of the time losses feel bad in Bowser's. Falling off of mech. Hopefully we don't ever see that. But you know, you watch the camera slowly zoom in and out as you fall off of it. Then you ponder why.
Well, let's take a look at shards. A shard is probably the most movement intensive part of the run. As Otmi, definitely not with the very clean movement, always almost diving down there, manages to get back up.
One of the areas where we see a lot of people doing kind of, you know, what they really want to with that movement, you know, however you get the shards, you know, there's always this like baseline, but everybody always puts up, you know, maybe they do it, you know, just that's the one thing that I always loved about Bowser is everybody does shards, but there's probably like 5 ways people are doing shards.
and most commonly known, actually, Zin Pass with a very
That's
crazy
what I was
strat
just
for
about
these
to
shots.
say.
He,
Yeah,
he did his race here before, and he managed to show this one off, and it's just, it's like an exclusive. Literally, no one else in the world does that strat. That's so cool to see. And it's not like it's slow. It's probably it is not the fastest strat, because if it was, more people would be doing it. But it looks so cool that it uses the down throw mechanic of the Joy-Con, which is a Joy-Con exclusive strat.
Insane. Well, we're off to what do you think Odd May is? Topper first? You gotta answer now
I
before we see
don't
it.
think so. Wait, I
You
mean,
think he's-
he is.
no,
I forgot he actually is.
no. What? Excuse me. Next time on Know Your Runner, is Odd May Topper first or Harriet first?
I remember him, Tischel, and Chaos Springer, one of the very few people. And Chaos Springer, to be fair, Chaos Springer is the current world record holder in this game. And it doesn't really obviously matter at all, but I guess Topper first is not as bad as I thought. Obviously, doesn't matter. It's personal preferences. These two camps fighting, and not me being a filthy Topper first player.
That's all right. I'll join you on that side. I've always been a Topper first. You know, get the bad one out of the way. Harriet's no problem.
Well, I'm not agreeing. I'm agreeing to disagree. As
What do you mean?
Tischel's actually going to be doing the capture warp strat here, which is quite scary. I think he got it though.
When somebody gonna turn that ground pound into a backflip?
We've seen actually people do like a dive ball triple
Odd.
jump there.
I'm having a little bit of trouble getting an extra cycle on Topper and an extra cycle here on Harriet, but getting out of there just fine. But
Tischel going for Furiate and getting the first hit for it actually being a strat basically found out by Fur, where you can use the first person to set up your cap throw in advance. Let's see if you can actually get all of the phases. That would be impressive. I think I've never seen anyone other than Fur get it, and Tischel gets the second phase as well. Saving just a little bit of time on these hits. No way, is he gonna do it? The triple! Ooh! Impressive stuff.
Where's Fur? Make Fur proud.
That definitely did make Fur proud, as Tischel manages to fight Harriet very quickly. Still needs to take out Topper, but probably saving some good amount of time over Otmi, who did have some trouble in these boss fights. And Otmi barely making it into the corridor below the floor there.
Oh, I hate this moon limb. The camera, you know, you gotta really know. You gotta really know where you're at without seeing where you're at.
Otmi taking his time there to have the camera turn, because you definitely do want to avoid a fall at any costs there. And yeah, Otmi making the Pokio climb work, and he's gonna be fighting Mecha Brutal, which is by far one of the easiest jokes in the run.
What do you mean? No one's ever fallen off.
I mean, Nerf, I'm not sure if you are aware of how people actually fight the boss these days. But we will be seeing some pretty interesting mechanics here. So Otmi getting a pretty clean first hit, not very optimal, but at least he's not falling. What people actually do now is they are taking out Harriet third. So there will be doing a very precise...
Tischel. Okay.
Saving himself. But Otmi will be setting up here behind Harriet to time a backflip to hit her quickly, and then he's going to be walking to a specific spot. And actually, I lied, because Otmi apparently doesn't do it. But I guess I got to explain. I'm pretty sure Tischel is going to be doing it, though. Otmi gets the old school.
Very scary strat to watch. Every time I see somebody do it, I'm like, alright, heck yeah. But
can we blame him, though, because that fight looked good?
Yeah, that was very good.
That fight looked very good. And if Tischel manages to get Harriet 30, he's going to be saving around like 2 seconds, just a little bit less over Otmi here. He does need to land it though, because if he misses it, he'll be taking a pretty big time loss.
I believe in him. I believe.
Oh,
he's up
Tischel
there
with the wall jump climb. My personal favorite. That's something that I'm using, and that is actually quite a bit faster than the back takes the bonk that he might be able to save this. What? No way. Oh my god, dude. Ah, that's so sad. He almost manages to save that one as he unfortunately ends up falling. And this is going to mean a pretty heavy time loss because he needs to wait one more phase.
Oh.
This hurts. Tischel needs to climb back up this Magno. I am not sure if he is going to feel ready to actually do Harriet 3rd here, or if he's just going to go back to the old strats. Oh, he's actually quite low. I'm not sure if he can make it back up. No, the bonk against the ears. I saw that coming.
Oh, this is what we were talking about. Or just, mistakes here in Bowser's just feel time consuming, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously they are, but they.
I mean, let's be real. In this phase, he couldn't have done anything anyways. He would have stood on top of the mech, But now is obviously where the time loss comes in. And Tischel only being at 2 HP needs to grab the bird now, probably trying to avoid damage here because a death would be quite costly as he is at 1 HP. He cannot get hit by this cannonball. Oh, Jesus. No, I don't like this at all. No, Tischel, he's in the back.
Oh, what is just standing?
Okay, Tischel, keep your calm. He's at 1 HP. Oh my god, that cannonball just.
Oh, what a mad lad.
He's still doing him. Oh my god, if he actually manages to land it, there's no way. Tischel. No!
Oh, no!
Tischel ending up with a death there. It's so unfortunate. Really trying to prove
sniped out of the air there by one of the flaming rings. Oh.
That mech made my heart stop for a second. Well, let's see how this second mech fight goes. Tischel probably trying to avoid any faults here. Otmi already off to Moon skip. Getting that one just fine. And Tischel got the first 2 hits, and so he's still gonna be going for Harriet 3rd. He really wants to show it off. Gets the first hit in. Tries to set up here on the line. This is a good lineup. I think he's gonna make this. Yes.
All right, second time's the winner there.
Target acquired, which is basically what he did right there on his second attempt, acquiring the target on Topper. And Otmi off to Bowser, very fancy spin throw straight into spin pounce with Bowser quickly there, very, very nice. And Tischel being victorious here, getting the moon. At least on this time.
Woo. That was too much. There was too much Lem. I can't handle it. My heart can only handle so much.
What I can't handle
too much
is the second phase of this boss fight, as for some reason it's like 16 times harder to grab the head on the second phase than on every other phase. I don't know why. It's so weird.
Is it in your head?
No. Literally, you'd see like every top runner had like a phase they went through where this second phase was messing with them tremendously. We've seen Chaos lose like a world record pace run like a long time ago to this. We've seen Suisega and Nitro get messed up by that. This phase is just awful, and Otmi making it through though. He's about to get the third head grab. Gets it fine.
Fine, yeah. Not a problem. In and out.
And yeah, I think he's definitely still looking at a very comfy sub 120 time, even with the mistakes that ended up happening here. And honestly, Otmi's run was solid. There were just some mistakes that snuck in and lost, obviously, and
yeah,
all around the run. Snowdrum, the missed attempt there.
Don't even speak of it.
But yeah.
But are we gonna obviously the 2D skip, right? Nobody's even afraid of that anymore. That's just I remember back in the day when that was new. The 2 seconds nobody went for.
Yeah, it is so funny. If it didn't really age well when people said, why would you do that trick for only 2 seconds? When these days people clip through walls and do like 4 different moons to save a second. I mean, it's not as extreme, but imagine like Snowdrum in World Peace saves 2 seconds and people do it. And compare this to 2D skip, it's a joke these days. So yeah, everybody does it. And Otmi getting it. Tischel bonking. I've seen him back this up before, but I don't think he's gonna make that work. Late game, as Otmi expected, not being too nice here to Tischel.
It pains me, Lim. It pains
sad.
me. I've been there. We've all been there, you know.
We've all been there.
The moon death is some of the just, you know, he's brush it off and
hurts.
finish it. You know what I mean? Like
You just gotta push. You gotta
might
push
see, like,
through the hell.
it hurts.
And
yeah.
Otmi is
Hurts us
gonna
all.
push through these pillars as he is shooting these last 5. Let's see if he did get early pillar. I wasn't able to confirm that one. Looks like he missed it. So needs to just get like 2 more shots in. Tischel doing moon cavern skip, gets it fine. Yeah, Otmi didn't get the fast early hit onto the pillar, so he needs to redo some shots, gets it, and he's probably going to be looking at a very low 119 here, very solid time.
It's a very solid time, yeah. I would be ecstatic with that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like that's for some people that's a goal to get like a sub 120, and he ended up making some mistakes, especially on Lost Kingdom and I guess Snowdrim once again. But still, showing off the screenshot mode, probably aiming to get a specific time here, as he gets a 119.50. GG's to Otmi for winning this one, managing to pull it off.
What a wild ride.
Yeah, wild ride to say the very least. Thinking about Tischel's mech here, definitely having one of these. And I'm not lying. This is the second phase of the Bowser fight in Moon. I'm not even surprised. It just messes with you.
I feel that. And then insult to injury here, Bowser gets away. It's just Moon can just go downhill so quick, you know. You're just ready.
Yeah.
You're just ready for the run to be over.
And can we really blame Tischel? Because
No, not at all.
obviously,
That's what I mean.
obviously his late game was really rough on him. Like he's probably just exhausted with this race. He wanted to be over. He's at 1 HP again. I hope he manages to pull that boss fight off because he definitely doesn't want another death here. So he's just dodging these flames. It's on him to dodge these flames. So he's not going to be able to do the damage boost, by the way. So he can't get the first step grab. Wait, I hope his autopilot. Okay, I think he realized. Oh, no, I can't do this. As he doesn't. No, okay, he gets a heart of one of these sets, so he's gonna be fine, I think, on this last phase.
As Peach waves goodbye, X some a-hole.
Yeah, Otmi trying to get on the ship there. Gotta get to Peach. Bowser getting dumped, and Otmi done. He's going to be going over to that to confirm the world peace state with the achievement. And Tischel probably looking at around a 123 pace still. As I think we already have Otmi joining here, if I'm not mistaken.
That is the boy. The man,
I think he is going to be waiting though until Tischel is finished so we gotta have these equal thoughts coming in.
Alright, well then I'm not gonna say anything nice about him again. That's it.
Yeah.
Those are all my nice things out of the way. Only mean things.
But yeah, Tischel approaching the actual pretty last part of the run as he's only needing to go through the 2D section, cleans 2D scoop without any issues, and he's basically off to the pillar room. Still looking at a 123 time, which is everything below 125 is definitely still a solid time. Obviously taking these 2 deaths there at the end, very costly. Would have probably managed to pull out I'd say like a 120, like flat without these deaths. But
Yeah.
like a high-ish, but still.
But what can you do? You know, it's a race. You gotta just roll with it, keep it going.
True. Tischel making these shots towards the first pillar. He obviously didn't hit all of them. I think he still needed one more shot. I'm not completely sure. He might have gotten it. Once again, it is optimal to shoot this pillar early to be able to basically go towards the middle block one like pathway earlier.
It's hard to do. I don't know why it is so hard. Maybe the camera.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've been talking about this just today. Another instance of me talking about some of these mechanics today. I feel like this is one of the few parts in the run where muscle memory will never be enough. Like, you actually need to fully focus on your angles and where to make these shots. Like, usually in this game you can pretty confidently like rely on your muscle memory. But Tischel clawing on that final block, capturing the very last wire of the game, as he's about to end this one with a 123.19. Coming in there, and I think we got him down here immediately. We already hear the Tischel Loth, the
Yep.
main one. Tischel,
Yo.
GG's on the race, ending this one.
Why do you give us so many heart attacks, man?
Oh my god. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Dude, both of our runs were so good. That was, oh my god, that was amazing, honestly. I was like 2.5 minutes off PB.
Yeah. Yeah, I was already like 1 minute behind Sov, like leaving Harriet in Sun, I think. It was great.
As soon as I missed the Seaside boss, I was like ready to cry.
Oh,
And
you
just
missed
like
that?
forced it.
Yeah, Tischel,
Like,
actually,
man,
one thing I
this
wanna
boss-
bring up here, Tischel. I mean, obviously, we don't really need to talk what happened in the late game. I mean, people gave you
Oh, we
like
can
some,
talk about it. We can talk
I mean,
about
people
it.
gave you some some slack for still going for Harriet third on 1 HP after this very
Oh
weird
no,
climb.
dude. I had
Was
to
this
go
like-
for it, man. I had to go
Yeah.
for it. It was over at that
Mad
point.
lad. Mad. Absolute mad lad.
Yeah, the camera just screwed me. It was all different. Like I couldn't get it. But I mean,
respect it.
it was possible.
But okay, I don't want to really get stuck on these negative parts. I want to bring up two very, very cool parts you actually managed to pull off. One being, actually, you had a pretty cool save there on Lost. Obviously, the missed triple jump cage, but then you managed to clutch that one out with confidence, getting these 2 moons. But the
Oh, yeah.
really big one that I got hyped about was your bounce ball. That one was
52.
crazy.
Oh,
I
yeah,
watched
yeah,
that when you were
that
actually
was
flying.
crazy.
Yeah, I think if we check the rules of the tournament, whoever wins Bandball wins the race. So
Okay, you know
technically
what,
I
Bob?
won. Yeah, Bandball. I love Bandball, man. I don't know. It's just I really like Bandball because there's no RNG or anything. Like if you I really practice and pay attention to how to cut the corners, you can basically consistently get 52, potentially 51. I think it sub 50 is even possible. I haven't seen a video of that.
Oh yeah, no, there's like 48 world records without the lap skip, I
Wow.
think.
That's crazy.
But yeah,
Mm.
I brought it up before. You once again showing in this race where you are known for studying also these boss fight mechanics, getting a clean seaside boss. Cockatoo looked very solid. That last phase was pretty much flawless. Like I think you only jumped like 3 times. I rarely see that.
Yeah, my
But-
seaside was a goal actually. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I can see
Snow,
that.
I got the moon cliff and then I died out of bounds.
Oh,
That
true.
was
I
great.
Oh
forgot
yeah,
that one.
that was rough.
That was great. But yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. Pretty common race for me. I just do stupid stuff. What can you do?
Happens to the best of them, and once again, it's not gonna mess with your confidence. I brought this up several times in this tournament. You just gotta keep doing it. And yeah, let me get to Otmi here. He's obviously gonna be advancing into round 3. I do know that you were not too happy with your race performance, but yeah, what is it gonna be for you now going into the 3rd round with potentially opponents like Timpani, Dangerous, Kerbis, all maybe Suisega, Little Kerbis. We don't
God.
know exactly yet, but they will all be up there probably at some point.
Well, I just hope my race with Curbs goes better than this one because he's tough. Our PBs are 1 second apart, and he got his PB in a race. But
True.
I mean, I
If there's
still
anyone saying race PBs, though, I think we're gonna look at this guy I'm talking with right now. I remember you actually being able to PB several times in races before on any
Yeah.
percent.
the very first tournament I PB'd in every race except the one I lost,
Yeah.
Oh, I remember those days.
and that's when the splicing started. I mean, what?
The splicing, the odd May splicing.
Right,
I've seen it.
I still hold the title of best cage triple and always will.
Oh, true. You managed to pull this one off. Still, I mean, I wasn't even as excited. At the same time, I was just in shock that you still decided to win for that. Because, yeah, huge respect. You ended up, I think, taking a fall after Butterfly,
Yeah,
or maybe before. I'm not sure.
Spin pounds don't like me.
Oh, yeah,
I was,
yeah. It
I was
after
spinning
Butterfly.
like a madman. He just dove off the edge.
And usually a mistake like that could end up messing with your confidence, but apparently not for you, as you still managed to make that work easily.
Seaside definitely messed up my confidence. That's for sure.
Oh, wait, okay. I mean, that boss really gets annoying at some point when
Yeah.
when he just starts to be a little bit quicker than you. So you weren't even able to do the boss clip since he was just basically out racing you. But still, managed to pull this one off. Still got a sub 120. Some people take that as like a goal, so I wouldn't be too mad. And you will be playing in the round 3 of this tournament. So GG's to you, man. Excited
Thanks.
to see you advance.
GG's. Yep. Good
And
stuff.
excited to see how this is gonna play out. And as always, Tischel, Otmi, thank you so much for doing this in the first place, showing your
Yeah, that
skills
was
of
awesome.
doing
Very
the
enjoyable.
competitive side of speedrunning. And
GG,
Nerf,
Tish.
it was a pleasure to
Oh
have
yes,
you back
of
on board.
course.
as
You as well,
commentator. Had a lot of fun doing this one. We are going to be going into a short intermission here because there's going to be another race pretty much immediately after a short intermission here. So
Yeah,
make sure to stay tuned. And see you
Stay
guys soon.
tuned for more Tom and the boys.